Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to Lady Raider Field. This is a region contest as the Lady Raiders are hosting the Lady Redskins of Bryan County. At this time, as the teams come together and join hands, please bow your head as Mr. Dan Taylor is going to lead us in a word of prayer.
Father, we thank you for this day. God, I thank you for the opportunity for these ladies to take the field and play the game that they love. And God, I pray that your hand of protection would be on them, that we would have a good, safe game. And Father, we may be opponents on the field, but I thank you that we are all your children and that you love us unconditionally. So Father, no matter which team we cheer for today, we want to lift up Coach Butler and his family, his team of players. God, as they may take the field with a heavy heart, I pray that you would give them the peace and comfort that they need in this time of loss, and remind them on a daily basis that you are always there with them in the highs and in the lows. So, Father, I just pray blessings on that family. Lord, again, I pray that you watch over our ladies as they take the field today. We praise you and give you glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
And now the lineups for today's contest. For the Lady Redskins, number 7, Carrera. Number 26, Hewitt. Number 2, Barfield. Number 3, Fabian. Number 13, Leggett. Number 8, Dickerson. Number 44, Williams. Number 6, Gunn. Number 18, Calhoun. And number 11, Hendricks. And now the lineup for your Lady Raiders. On the mound today, number 19, Taz Whitley. Center field, number 4, Zoe Hodges. At third base, number 20, Brianna Booth. At shortstop, number 3, Aniston A.J. Johnson. At first base, number 12, Ashley Durrance. At DP, number 25, Bree Harper. In right field, number 21, Alana Johnson. At second base, number 23, Kamari Strozier. In left field, number 11, Sadie Adams. And behind the plate at catcher, number 15, Cameo Snell. Would you please stand and remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem? Well, good afternoon, Raider Nation. We want to welcome you to Lady Raider Field, as we did just a moment ago, as the field announcer announced the lineups for this contest today, as the Lady Raiders are playing host to the Bryan County Lady Redskins, a Region 2AA matchup. This hopefully will be the first game we've gotten in at home. There's been 3 rainouts in a row, or home games. We were only able to get in the scrimmage it's been like 3 weeks ago now, versus Brunswick. But hopefully today, it looks like the skies are kind of partly cloudy, but there's not any rain in the forecast. So we should be good to go as Taz Whitley takes the mound for the Lady Raiders today. And I'll go around the horn more in just a moment. I want to take just a moment to start off with here. I want to recognize and we want to wish the best this time of sorrow for the Coach Butler, Coach Al Butler of the Lady Redskins, lost his father. And we're, again, we want to, if you noticed before the game, the team circled up there. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Pastor Dan Taylor was able to come and say a prayer for the teams and for that family. And our prayers certainly go out to Coach Butler. Again, on the field, we can be competitive, but off the field, we definitely want to remember that. We're going to get things started here real quick. This game's getting started just a tad late because of just various issues. But nonetheless, Carrera is going to lead off number 7 for the Lady Redskins. And again, Whitley on the mound, getting the signal for the opening pitch of the game. And there it is. Strike on that outside corner. Ran a Booth at third, AJ at shortstop, Strozier at second, Durance at first, Snell behind the plate, Sadie Adams in left. Let's get this pitch in. Ball just outside. Zoe Hodges in center, and Alana Johnson in right field. This ball is lifted in the right field, right to Alana. Makes just a half a step hop there and makes the catch, as you can see. Typically in our softball broadcast, we don't move the camera a whole bunch, especially unless it's rifled down one sideline or the other. We'll try to, especially if it looks like it's going to be a home run, we try to follow it. It's a great highlight that we'll post. But one out here early in the top of the first. It's warm out there, folks. It's probably low 90s, a little humid for these young ladies. Good frame on that outside corner. Might have been just off the plate, but it's a good location that he called strike. I'll spend more time between innings talking about another pitch on that outside corner for strike. Talking about our 2017-18 athletic season title sponsors this year, one being Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, Family Vision Care, Coley Electric of Alma. This ball is slapped out of play to the left. Lady Raiders are 1-1 on the season. Again, they've attempted to play about 5 games, regular season games, but only able to complete 2, defeating Swainsboro 14-0. And losing last week to region opponent and huge rival, the Jeff Davis Lady Jackets, 2-1. So we are 1-1 in region play as well. Ball slapped foul. great play by Strozier. A little slap to the right side, and she was in perfect position. Defensively in Jeff Davis last week, we had a couple mistakes, and those mistakes, I think, probably cost us at least one of those 2 runs, in which we lost 2-1. Both pitchers pitched very well. Sadie Adams pitched a complete game. It was just unfortunate she wasn't able to get the win. There's a pitch just low and inside. And I failed to mention the batters here. I apologize. It should be Barfield, the 3rd batter in the lineup. The previous was Hewitt. This ball is going to be hit to A.J. She sucks it up and throws it to first for the final out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Lady Redskins here in the top of the first. The Lady Raiders are going to come to the bottom of the first and see if we can't pile on some runs here early. I don't think it'll hurt any feelings of the home. And post on-demand productions of all things Bacon County High School, specifically athletics, but we also incorporate band and graduation and some other specific things that go on throughout the year associated with the high school, and as well as some community efforts as well. And, again, my name is Brent Johnson. Along with me is Carson Taylor, who's a freshman at Bacon County High School this year in my foundations class of my engineering pathway, and a member of my Technology Student Association, which is our classroom club, CTSO, that provides an opportunity for students like himself to participate in after-school events such as this, along with many other things that will be available this year, other events throughout the year. But broadcasting is our focus, and I hope these guys are learning a lot, not just about the equipment and the how to create a good production, but hopefully instilling some work ethic in these young men and women that volunteer basically their time, and all they get paid is food. Try to take care of them that way, and get them some clothing once in a while, a shirt that represents us well. So I want to, again, he's producing the show today, everything that you see, the score bug, and making sure everything's running nice and smooth. And here we go in the bottom half of the first inning. Taz Whitley's going to lead off this game, and she has a ton of power. Matter of fact, she's got about, I think she's got 3 home runs. Only one of them is in the books, though. She hit a home run in the contest against Swainsboro that counted. She hit a grand slam in the contest, one of the contests that was rained out. And then, unfortunately, last week in the Metter game, again, we were rained out, but just one of them little bloopers in which she hit a home run in the bottom of the first inning, but the number on her jersey didn't match the number in this ball is hit deep to left field. It's going to be trouble, and it's going to be at least a double for Taz as she puts them legs up and down, getting her around. Again, she starts off hot again here. Bounced just a few feet from the fence. But the grand slam versus Coffee didn't count because of the rain out. And then, again, last week she was called out after the fact. The coach, I think he was going to see what she did at the plate. And sure enough, she hits the home run and negates it. This ball is popped straight back. And this is Zoe Hodges. On deck is Booth, and in the hole is A.J. Power throughout this lineup. I've mentioned this in prior games. Last year I think 1 through 9 may have been the best hitting team that I've broadcasted for the Lady Raiders in the 7 or 8 years we've been doing this. This ball is going to be lifted into center field. Shallow. It's going to be a tough play, and it's just a C&I single. Taz has to hold.
But Hodges does what she needed to do, and it is a single. 2 on now for Booth. As I was saying, throughout this lineup may be the most power or consistent power that I've seen. With Taz, Booth, AJ, and Durrance. There's a ball, a strike down the pipe there. And again, Booth with an opportunity. Oh, ball hits her on the wrist. She takes it. Takes one for the team there. Bases are going to be loaded now for number 3, Aniston, and she had a grand slam and it don't count either because it was a preseason game, the very first game we played here against Brunswick. Lady Raiders eventually won 8-7 in the bottom of the 7th. But she had a go-ahead grand slam in the 5th. Ball outside. And again, most of these girls that play softball, especially regularly throughout the year, they know one another, and they have to know the experience and the presence that AJ has in the box. I'll be shocked if they give her anything. I know that bases are loaded, folks, but I think they would rather walk her than give her something fat over the plate to jump on. That's ball high. That's 3-0, as I suspected. But the problem is that here comes Durrance. She's just begging for that opportunity on deck. And that's ball low. Oh, he calls it strike. Typically the strike zone widens just a little bit on that 3-0 count. Ball outside there. 1-0 early for the Lady Raiders with no outs. Bottom of the first, real early. I'm not getting too excited yet. Adjust my camera just a little bit there. Coach calls timeout for Bryan. All right, we're still at timeout here. I'm surprised. I'm not sure what's going on. If they're checking on maybe the health of a player there to the left. Just that's the umpires are kind of there. Usually they bust these timeouts up a little quicker. So there must be something else going on. Just a not sure exactly what that is. Maybe they're looking for a bandage or something. Coach Poff's coming out. Now, I haven't even talked about Coach Kelly Poff, new to Bacon County this year. Excited to see her as she takes the helm of the Lady Raiders, who have been super successful under the tenure of former Coach Tyre. He may be out there listening or watching. Shout out to him if so. Want to thank him for what he was able to accomplish over the years through this Lady Raider softball program, and we just hope that Coach Poff can build upon that, as she has a lot of young talent. I think the stage is set, and there's only just a handful of seniors that are starting, and then you're looking at sophomores and freshmen. We don't have any juniors. It's a very similar situation to our baseball team coming into this coming year, but I believe that's what's going on. We need a little maybe a bandage of some type to help this young lady, and we'll get things going. As you can see, the Lady Raiders there to the left, they're just trying to stay pumped up about what's going on. Bases loaded, no outs, run in here. Durant's coming to the plate. And again, I want to thank my title sponsors this year for not just softball or football or whatever, just for the whole. I went out this year and talked to some of my faithful supporters that have been faithful throughout the years and negotiated for them to support me throughout the whole year so we wouldn't have to come for specific events like playoffs or anything like that. And, man, they jumped right on it, and we got some really cool commercials coming, video commercials of their business and industries within the next week or two, hoping to unveil them sooner than later. As we're working with those individual businesses, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, you're talking about a gentleman that wholeheartedly loves this community and loves the athletics, and he supports from recreational ball up all the way through the varsity levels of just about, if not every sport. And I'm not kidding, folks. Just go by. He's very knowledgeable about athletics in general. He played baseball and football, and I think basketball as well for the Red Raiders. I won't throw out what years he played because, number one, I'm not sure, and I don't want him to get in trouble with him. May say he's older than he really is. But go by and see Mr. Andy Cawthorn at Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales south of Alma on US 1 for your next potential automobile purchase. And actually, if you're coming south on US 1 from Alma, you'll have to pass Coley Electric, which will be on your right going south. Stop by and see Miss Lisa Coley for any of your electrical and plumbing needs. Just another faithful supporter of all things Red Raider. And again, a shout out to her and her staff for what they mean to our community. And that's just another way. In all of these businesses, I encourage you to shop local, because these are the folks that are supporting our kids, your kids, and it's not just athletics that they're supporting. It's anything else that when a kid comes in and asks, hey, can you support us, the band? Can you support us and do going on this trip for this club, for FFA, for FBLA, FCCLA, all the different things that are involved with, that kids can be involved with at the high school level, much less in the lower levels. All of these hometown businesses, and I could count off dozens and dozens outside of the ones that are just sponsoring our broadcast. But I want just a huge shout out while I'm just rambling on here to all the businesses and industry in Alma-Bacon County that support us so well. And then I haven't even touched on Family Vision Care, but I'll get to that in just a moment after this big inning, hopefully by the Red Raiders. Maybe Ashley will see the first pitch. I've called them before. One swing of the bat, and it could be 5-0 real quick here. On the mound for the Lady Redskins is Barfield. And at the plate is Ashley Durrance, one of the 4 seniors on this team. Taz on the mound. Snell behind the plate for us. Those are 3. And here's the pitch. Just outside. Nice. Oh, wow. I said just outside. It's a good frame by the catcher. It must have, he's kind of got a wide zone. He's calling it both ways, though, folks, because when we were up earlier and pitching to a lefty, he called that outside pitch a strike. There's a changeup by Taz. Something I haven't mentioned, and here she comes on deck now, is Bree Harper. This is her first game back, as right before the season began, she had an injury to her meniscus, and I will say it has to be a minor injury, swing and a miss on that outside corner, and that's what that outside strike will do. But Bree is back in the lineup, going through some minor surgery, and she's been out about roughly 4 weeks, doing some recovering and therapy. Got the A-OK from the doc. High pitch. Count's going 2-2. Bases are loaded. Swing foul. Swing and a miss. Oh, figure out what happened here. He called her out. That's that bases loaded rule. All right, 1 out now. Brings Bree to the Well, what a welcome she would get if she get a base hit here or something big time. Her first at bat back. I'm sure she's excited. I know her mother and father is, to see her back in the lineup. This ball is hit foul, out of play. Back to the right. Emmy, her sister, just graduated from Bacon County High School in 2017, and she is currently working out with the Valdosta Lady Blazers, Valdosta State. She will be playing for them in the 2018 season. On that outside corner, and he's going to call it now. I need to go ahead and just call Coach Poff and say they're going to have to sit on that outside because he's calling it and calling it both ways. This young lady's just thrown a few more pitches on that corner than we have. There it is again. That's a little too far outside there. That was probably 8 inches off the plate. But those couple strikes that she's thrown, the ball, she's catching it about 6 inches off the back of the plate, but it's probably only just a couple inches off the front. And there it is, lifted into center field. Could be trouble. And it is a seeing eye single. It's going to be trouble. Run scores. Three to nothing Lady Raiders with only one out now. Runners at the corner. RBI single, seeing eye single, I'll call that one for Bree. Welcome back, Miss Harper. There's a bunt to the, safe at home. An error by the pitcher. Kind of, I hate to say nonchalantly. I'm not sure if she knew exactly what she wanted to do. I bet you what in the back of her mind is she thought it maybe was a forced play. I don't know. I can't even speculate, but the play was probably at first base, hindsight. But it went the Raiders' way. An error, throwing error there to the catcher. It goes to the backstop. Another run scores 4-0, only one out. Runners at second and third now. It's going to bring Strozier to the plate. Ball gets past the catcher. Pitcher just needs to settle down a little bit. She's already shown she's got some good stuff. And I think she's probably a little agitated at herself right now. Just needs to take a deep breath. And this ball is bunted foul. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Again, only 1 out here. 4-0 early. Bottom of the first. This ball is going to be hit to left field. Playable. Oh, and she drops it. Runner's going to score from third. Runner's going to score from second. And Strozier's going to end up at second. So it's quickly now 6-0 for the Lady Raiders. Just took her eye off the ball. Had to have. It was one of those can of corn. Again, the second error now for the Lady Redskins. Sadie Adams, southpaw. She bunts it right to the third baseman, who is coming in and dove. Number 6, got to call her name out for that play. That's Shelby Gunn for the Lady Redskins, making a great defensive play, trying to stop the bleeding here for the Bryan County. Now there's 2 outs, 6-0. Back to the top of the lineup. We batted around. I said off air earlier, I said 8 runs? This ball is when we fouled out of play. And I was just kind of cutting up it's because it's so hot. I was hoping the Lady Raiders would take care of business early. No disrespect to this team, but I think I said something like maybe we get 8 this inning. And with one swing of the bat by Taz, it's possible. High and tight as Taz hit a double her first at bat. Hodges on deck. She had a C&I single. This ball is slapped to the right field, and she's unable to make the play. Bounces Karam's off of her glove. That will likely be scored an error as well. Run in. 7-0. Taz is at second. Again, Hodges at the plate. Booth on deck. This ball is popped straight back up. Going to be out of play. Big bounce right back toward our window. If you're watching from home, I could call out some names who usually are watching. Shoot me a text. Let me know everything looks good. Ball is caught for the last out of the inning. Nonetheless, the Raiders tack on 6 on, I believe, 4 hits and 3 errors, if I tallied that correctly. But it's still early. We're headed to the top of the second. We're all going to take a break. Honor our sponsors. Will be back in just a moment on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports. All right, welcome back, Raider Nation, to our live broadcast of Lady Raider softball, as we're playing host to Region 2AA foe or opponent, the Lady Redskins of Bryan County. Number 3, Alicia Fabin, comes to the plate, and I hope I'm pronouncing that last name correctly, Fabin. Fabin. 3 up, 3 down is what Taz did to the lineup in the top of the first. Here we are on the top of the second. Raiders lead 7-0. Any region win is a good win. It's a tough loss last week. Oh, what a call there. I tell you, that ball really cuts across that front corner of the plate. But again, he's consistent. It's been the same way for both teams. That young lady earlier, she kind of got away from it. For the Redskins, she hums it right down the pipe. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leggett on deck and Dickerson in the hole. That's a ball low. In this situation, you just kind of got to go after these batters. Don't give them any chance. No free bases. Let them put it in play. Let our defense do the work. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Taz. A shout out to the tailgaters, literally tailgaters. These guys are sitting out in the outfield. I'll give them some exposure here in a few minutes. I'll zoom out there. Leg it to the plate now. Dickerson on deck. Ball outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Three balls, no strikes, 1 out. Strike over that outside corner. Again, another hitter's count here. Got to think Taz is going to come at her with another attempted strike at least. There it was, slapped right to Booth. She gathers it up, tosses over to first to Durrance for the sure out. The ladies go around the horn for the second out. 5 up, 5 down for the Lady Redskins. Brings Dickerson to the plate. And Williams is on deck. Just a little low. Foul ball evens up the count. 1-1, 2 outs. Top of the second. That's a good pitch. Broke back over the plate. I thought it might have been a tad high. We're elevated, obviously, up above the we're about somewhere between 15 and 20 feet above, or at least the camera is, above the ground. So it's difficult to get a good gauge on how high these pitches are. Ball's just a bit outside, 2-2. Strikeout on that inside corner, and it was over the plate. What a great pitch by Taz. 3 up, 3 down again with 2 strikeouts, giving her a total of 3 on the game. As we head to the bottom half of the second, we're going to take a really, really quick break and be back in just a moment. And again, I said a quick break. Again, we want to thank you for joining us on the NFHS Network. Most importantly, brought to you by BCTV Production. And I want to thank another sponsor, and that would be Family Vision Care of Alma. And that is Dr. Blake Hutto, and Dr. James McQuigg. Now, the McQuigg family you might be familiar with the eye care business here in Alma, Georgia, where they have been serving this community for years and years. And we want to thank Blake, a hometown kid. He grew up, graduated here, went off to school, come back, and now he's serving this community. A young man who is very excited about what he does, very knowledgeable, and they've just recently built in the last year a fantastic new office building, and I'll talk more about that in just a moment. As Booth comes to the plate, leads off here in the bottom of the second, 7-0 lead with AJ on deck. That ball's just, I keep saying it's just going to be too far outside, but it's not. I mean, he is hammering it home on that outside corner. But they have a really nice new office building on the Highway 32 bypass. That has to be just a bit outside for 2 balls, 1 strike. Filled with state-of-the-art equipment to help diagnose and help your vision. That's another ball outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. I encourage you just to swing by and take a peek inside, whether you decide to ask for a official consultation or not. They sell sunglasses and major brand sunglasses. Ball's out of play. Going to bring it to full count. And his staff is extremely helpful and knowledgeable as well. Just can't say enough about the investment that this business is making in this community. Number one, they built a brand new facility there across from the old tobacco barn there. But if you're not, it's behind Ace Hardware in that area on that bypass. I'll give you an idea of where it's at. Ball high. Booth's going to take a walk for the Lady Raiders. Going to be 1 on for AJ. And AJ reached on most likely an error that first inning. And the pitch, just a little high. Folks at home, I just noticed, and I shouldn't point it out because now you'll see it and it'll drive you crazy too. I apologize for there's a little bit of glare. I hope you can't see me, but I think you can see the front of the camera. There's a silver ring right in the middle of your screen, pretty big. It's just a little bit of glare. We have the window shut because it is so hot outside, but once it cools down a little, we'll open it up and it'll disappear. Swing and a miss by AJ. She took something off of it, and if there is a pitch that she struggles with, it is whether it's a slower pitcher or it's a change up. That's about all she struggles with. And there's the pitch, and she takes this one deep to left field. It's going to be out of play, though. And that inside pitch, just a little too quick, as I just saw her mom walk in, Miss Tracy. There's that changeup, called strike 3. That was a good pitch. It just took forever to get there. It's going to be the first out of the inning. It's going to bring Durrance to the plate. No one more disappointed than her. She likes to take advantage of every opportunity. Strike on that outside corner, working that corner. And I would too. Try to keep the ball off the meat of the bat of this wrecking crew here for the Lady Raiders. That ball's a little low. I may have got cut off earlier. Looking for some, well, here we go. I asked for some text. You and the crew are doing well. Fine job as usual. Looks good. Appreciate that. As always, super thankful for this. So hard when mine are cheering to make it. And that's what we're here for the folks that, ultimately, folks, I want you here, especially at home events. If you can make it, if you can afford it and get here and support physically Bacon County High School sports and middle school for that, as far as that goes, all sports and other events. But we're here for those that can't make it, that doesn't mind paying just a small subscription fee. And I say that wholeheartedly. 2-2 now. I'll spend this next break kind of talking about the subscription stuff. But, again, thank you for those that are at home watching today. Appreciate your support. Ball low, and there's a walk for Ashley, and Booth is first and second respectively, and then Harper coming for her second at bat, and she is the DP, designated player of this game. She is kind of like the designated hitter in baseball, or it is basically. Bree had I call it a seeing eye single, her first at bat back, her first at bat of the regular season. Got an RBI, and she hammers this one to center field. Young lady makes the catch, fires over to third base. Just a great play there defensively. She only had to take just a half a step back. But Bree got into that one. Just a long fly ball. It's going to bring Atlanta Johnson to the plate. Evidently she didn't get her bat back quick enough on the bunt attempt, because it looked like a little high to me in the zone. Oh, what another changeup. That's the one that got AJ. I mean, it is major. Now, Bree's got a big-time changeup, too, when she's on the mound. There's another one she took a little bit off of, but it was high and tight. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. 7 runs we scored in the bottom of the first. 2 on here. Just a little low in the zone, outside. Swing and a miss. That's going to be the second strikeout of this inning. Lady Raiders unable to take advantage of getting 2 on with walks. We're going to take it to the top of the third, and Taz will take the mound again. Let me take just a moment. I'll tell you what, we're going to run a quick commercial. I'll be back and talk about that subscription stuff in just a moment. All right, we're back again in the headed to the top of the third inning. Lady Raiders lead 7-0 as we scored all 7 in the bottom of the first. But again, to just talk about the subscription stuff here just a moment. From the get-go, folks, myself and my program, I guess it was about 7 years ago now, started broadcasting on the internet and recording and posting for on-demand access. It was completely for a community service project, basically, and I picked the best platform that I thought was out there, which was the NFHS, and we went with it. And at that time, when we went with it, it was a small fee that our local school system picked up, and it was a blanket fee. You paid the fee, and then anybody that wanted to log in and watch could, and that went on for about 3 years. And then And then the NFHS network came up with a program, a subscription base, and they started it, with good intentions. Obviously, they needed to make some money, and they wanted a way for the local school systems to be able to help generate some income as well. So a portion of your subscription does come back to my program and help us. It's just, be honest, I can't remember the specific percentage. If I did, I'd tell you. But a portion of that comes back to the local system or my program, again, to help support what we do. But I was never really for the subscription. But the thing is I'm for the NFHS and their platform because it still is the best available that I'm aware of. And for that $45 for the annual passes, which is what I recommend you go in and do. Bottom of the fourth. Lady Raiders maintain an 8-0 lead after just a great unassisted double play by Strozier to end the inning with bases loaded. Booth is going to lead off. Takes ball low. And these guys out in the outfield, man, they're looking for a souvenir, and she's the one that can put a charge into it and get it out there. Foul tip ball there. Brings the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last week, in that 2-inning game, rain-shortened game, the Raiders turned a tailor-made double play in that game. This ball is hammered into center, and it's going. Well, I'll take that back. It took off like it was going to be hammered. I'm glad I didn't make a bigger deal than I did. Another C&I single, really off the end of the bat. I was looking more at the trajectory than I did the actual distance. I'm going to bring AJ to the plate. And I know she wants a little payback after the strikeout her previous at bat. Ball high. You got to think she may get a steady dose of changeups here. Ball inside. Quickly, 2 balls, no strikes. With Durrance on deck. Just a little too far outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Takes call strike 1. It's a little high in the zone. She was taken all the way. She'll be looking to do some damage here, but here comes the changeup I'm predicting. And it wasn't. It was a fastball right down the pipe. Just a little behind it.